the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass, time rolls on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Today is February 7th, 2024. It is 4:58 a.m. I'm in the middle of editing, and for some reason, I don't know why, I'm not in the mood to really record, but it's almost 5 o'clock, and this is the only part that I have left from the editing portion. So by the time the kids are up, I probably maybe will finish, but I want something to get started once I'm done, because I need something to get going. So this is what's going on here right now. Yesterday, Harry went to the UK to visit his father, who was diagnosed with cancer. So I have some tweets. This, I'm probably gonna push it back again. These 5 tweets, I had them for a while. It's regarding Archwell and Harry and Meghan, Clever, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna focus more on these. That was what, 2 days ago, leading for Harry going to the UK, and then we have these from yesterday. I'm telling you, I didn't record much, and then I'm telling you, yesterday there were a lot. There's a lot of tweets regarding yesterday. I don't know how many. I didn't count them. So I'm gonna get started with this, and then record for like an hour before I wake my son up, and then we'll go from there. So it will be on this channel, PYTE. This is the back end, 3,696 subscribers. New subscribers, welcome. There's the number. So I'm gonna start with leading up, okay, the day before Harry went to the UK. I haven't really been on Twitter that much. I hope some of you follow me on @PYTE Sussex, because I usually put screenshot of tweets, because I'm not into, the breaking news to keep you up to date with the latest, but in terms of video wise, but I will put screenshot if I'm on my phone and I see something interesting. I'll share it with you on my community board. Okay, so follow me on all of my channels. That way, when I post certain things, you get to see them. Okay, if you are interested. If you're not, that's fine. Alright, so this is the first tweet. I'm not convinced that Wells' hoo-ha was a big tantrum and a failed attempt at a power grab, while Willie is busy briefing his minions about standing in for the king. Paz made it clear he ain't handing over any power soon, and Egg and Bone have learned they are not indispensable. Okay, with Camilla over there, please, she worked her entire life to be up there. You think she's gonna... I told the joke where, God forbid, if something happened to Charles, she'll make sure Charles is like Weekend at Bernie's. Go look that movie up. It's like in the 80s. I think there's several parts to it, 1 and 2. Alright, so let's see, what did they write here? Statement from Buckingham Palace. During the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted. Subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer. His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties throughout his period. His Majesty will continue to undertake state business and official paperwork as usual. The King is grateful to his medical team for their swift intervention, which was made possible thanks to his recent hospital procedure. He remained wholly positive about his treatment and look forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. His Majesty has chosen to share his diagnosis to prevent speculation and in the hope it may assist public understanding for all those around the world who are affected by cancer. Okay, so he put his thing out, made it public, but for the other one, Kate, we have no idea. Again, you know what, let me not go to that because I repeated so many times on other videos. Okay, so that's a bit of that. Of course, this could just be one long tantrum by the Macbeth. They've pretty much been sidelined and reduced to using their kids for publicity and making social reels, now blackmailing Pa and Foreign Office into giving them a starring role, or else they'll cause more chaos. Macbeth. Okay, remember, this is just a conversation. We don't know what's going on, with the exception of whatever statement they put out there. Even, okay, there might be a grain of salt on this just to get heavy on in the UK. So the UK, I don't know. I never really take them at their words. Okay, when he couldn't visit the King when he was hospitalized due to looking after his serious sick wife and his children. Can anyone tell us what has changed? Won't surprise me if Kate suddenly resume work tomorrow. There's a laugh. The legend is coming. Okay, yep, and fully expecting her to reappear with some story. They thought going on strike will get them more power. Okay, solidarity and showing somberness of occasion. Okay, like Ose, Willie is power hungry. There's that here. You're absolutely right. So let's move on because I have a lot to share with you. So I'm going to try to record as much within an hour. So again, this is leading to Harry going to the UK. Alright, so there's that here. You swear Charles has one son. The same media and trolls that praised him when he took away his security, evicted his family from Frogmore, are now saying he has to leave everything to be with him. Yep, Charles leaked that he didn't want to see his grandchildren during the Jubilee. Yeah, I remember all of that. Charles put the entire Sussex family in danger because he was determined to protect Murdoch media. There's the thing. The video that I'm editing right now, I say a lot about this. Okay? Even though he knew the threat to the Sussexes, I have to control myself. I'm telling you. Right? I can't stand the hypocrisy of that family and some Brits. They are treating Prince Harry like the spare to cover for Prince William as usual. There's that, 100%. Alright. Whatever's there, and oh, there's more things here. Okay, so let's go to them. And the coronation. Archie and Lilibet reportedly haven't been invited to King Charles' coronation yet. There's that here. Oh my God, leading to that coronation, the nonsense that they were putting out? I don't know. Thanks for reminding me. Charles is horrible. You know what disgusted me to the core is when he leaks these things about his grandchildren and thinking it'll look good on him. I don't know what he's thinking. He's doing exactly what he did to Diana. Yep. Get his people to do the nonsense for him. All right, like he said, I have friends, so many good friends that are wonderful. I remember that.
The most damaging charge that is made in relation to your marriage is that you were, because of your relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, from the beginning, persistently unfaithful to your wife and thus caused the breakdown. What is your response to that persistent criticism?
Oh, that's the persistent criticism, is it? Well, and the trouble is, you see, that these things, again, as I was saying earlier, are so personal. It's difficult to know quite how to, to talk about these things in front of everybody. And obviously, I don't think many people would want to. But I mean, all I can say is that there's been so much speculation, feeding on every other kind of speculation, that it all becomes bigger and bigger. I mean, all I can say is that I mean, there is no truth in so much of this speculation. And Mrs. Parker Bowles is a great friend of mine. I have a large number of friends. I'm terribly lucky to have so many friends who I think are wonderful and make the whole difference to my life, which would become intolerable otherwise.
I have the clip. Yeah, when he was trying to lie about Camilla and all of that. Okay, careful what you plan for others. All right, so let's see here. King Charles justified the government preventing his son from having security by arguing that a successful attack on Prince Harry will not significantly disturb the British public. My God, for a father to say something like that. Sir James said it was simply incorrect to suggest that there was no evidence that the issue of impact was considered, adding that the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, Harry's mother, was raised as part of the decision. He added, Warwick gave greater weight to the impact on state function being lessened as a result of the change over likely significant public upset were successful attack on Harry to take place. Mr. Justice Lane will give his judgment over the case at a later date. Then they removed that. That was a case that Harry pulled. Okay, I don't know what went with that. If it did, I forgot. Prince Harry was required to give 28 days notice before his planned visit to the UK so that the Home Office could assess his security request. I'm recording a day after he had already went. And these tweets that I'm sharing right now are tweets before he went. So I already know he went to the UK and there were escort, there were protection for him. So Charles knows he could provide Harry security. He just decided not to. Okay, the video that I'm editing, I explain all of that. Okay, with the lawsuit that Harry's dealing with, the papers and all of that. So I have a feeling the reason they call him to come into the UK, and Harry probably said, I will come, but I don't have security, so I'm not coming. So he's like, okay, I'm just giving my opinion how the conversation went, allegedly. Okay, Harry probably said, I will come, but if you provide me with security. And then Charles said, fine, I'll give you security. So he came to the UK and there's a whole bunch of security for him. They drove him to KP, and then when they get there, and Harry was like, what do you want from me? Da 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 da. And Charles probably said, okay, you need to remove those lawsuits regarding the papers. And Harry was like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. And then 45 minutes goes. That's what I heard. The conversation was like for 45 minutes, and then after that he flew to go to, I don't know, Sangriam or something like that. So whatever it is, they all are baggage for God. This could have easily been discussed over the phone, or I don't know, face to face. What's that? FaceTime? What do they call it? Skype or something like that. But he flew. How long it is to fly from California to the UK? I don't know, maybe 13 hours or something. My goodness. And then he just ignored him. After probably Harry then gave him what he wanted to hear. Okay, so let's continue. The Duke of Sussex was then informed that the Home Office will decide whether the request security arrangement were necessary following his decision to step back from royal duties. Prince Harry was not happy with this decision and demanded an example of someone with the same threat assessment as him who received no security after leaving public duty, according to the Telegraph. Okay, look at, what is it? Prime ministers. What's that other one who was there for a few seconds? Liz, I think that's her name. And the squad made fun of that too, because after she shook the Queen hand, you know, when she became the prime minister, the Queen gone. And then she shook Charles' hand, and now there's Charles with cancer. So the squad was like, we need a picture of her shaking William's hand. But anyway, Liz, the former prime minister, who was there for like couple months, not even 6 months, the most maybe 6 months, I don't know. Okay, she stepped down, and she will be getting, from my understanding, she'll be getting £128,000 per year in security for that short period of time. Okay, so let's go to the next. And then Harry, who's a son of a king, can I get that? God is good. Okay, was it Fwaxit? Oh, is that the way they called it? I never seen this before. When they left when Charles evicted them. Okay, King chucks Harry and Meg out of Frogmore and offered to Andrew. Okay, Harry and Meghan evicted from Windsor home of Frogmore. Prince. Alright, Prince Harry told he has to give 28 days notice if he wants to visit UK. Threat to safety. Nah, they just want to prepare themselves. Alright, look at this. He came yesterday. What was it? It was a day ago. It was announced that Charles had cancer. And then the next day, Harry went. Full security was there waiting for him at the airport. So you know they could do it. They just don't want to. Alright, yeah. This is why Charles is in the predicament right now. Okay, you can do evil and prevail in life. The universe doesn't reward bad action with good. I'm waiting on his concubine's turn, because we know hers is coming big time. Alright, yep, karma does not forget. They treated this couple horribly and are continuing to do so. Alright, only child Harry. So then, who's next in line? Willy Wonka, but he's nowhere to be found. Willy Wonka. Okay, Charles, what was it? I mentioned that. Is it Denmark? Denmark King. King Frederick X went somewhere. I think Poland for a couple of days. And then his 18-year-old son took over. We don't hear all this shenanigan, but I don't follow them that much. So I don't know the ends, you know, like I follow what's going on with Harry and Meghan. So I don't know what if there was any controversies, but it seems like he did his thing properly. Alright, Charles has always believed Harry isn't his, so he doesn't care, probably glad to get rid of him. I remember when this all first happened, he promised Harry, was it 5 million for security? Turns out it never happened. Then he tossed him out of the home Queen Elizabeth gave him. Well, since he was born, when was it Princess Diana said, when he found out that Harry was a boy, he was disappointed. And then after, when he always want the cheers and the applause, and go pick Princess Diana and Harry at the hospital, and then once he get home, he went to play polo. he's a baggage for God. Okay, after this, that's it. I know Harry is Charles' son, and he knows that too because he told Harry those were just rumors. Harry was born in 1984, and Hewitt had an affair with Diana in 1986, 2 years after Harry was born. What disgusts me is that he never cared to make those rumors stop by issuing a statement. Yeah, that too. And not only that, you have a young woman. What is it? Princess Diana was very young.
She was an absolute stunner, an absolute gorgeous woman.
At what age did she pass? 36 or something? You have a young woman at her prime.
It was amazing when they first did that photo shoot. We first got to sort of meet Diana, this woman who was going to one day be our queen, we all thought.
And you have this old guy.
And then you look at him, you think, whoa, she's marrying her granddad.
And she came across very well, and he came across as this bizarre, stuck-up, sort of 17th century figure.
Who already had someone who he wants to play with in bed, and then you leave that young woman by herself. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand when you do things private, it's private. It's fine. But it's when you're flunking all this sexual kind of thing out there that is disgusting. But as a young woman, she needed her husband.
And she said to me, very interesting, she said to me, you've got everything you've ever wanted. All the men in the world fall in love with you. You've got 2 beautiful children, what more would you want? And I didn't believe what she said anyway. So I said, I want my husband.
People need to be touched and feel and make love to their husband, but Charles was not giving that to her.
There's virtually no sexual relations between Charles and
Well, there was,
So-
but it was odd. Very odd, but it was there, and then it fizzled out about 7 years ago, 6 years ago. 7 was Harry 8.
How do you know it was odd?
Instinct told me. It's just so odd. I don't know. There was no requirement for it from his case. Sort of once every 3 weeks I look about it, and I kept thinking. And then I followed a pattern. He used to see his lady once every 3 weeks before we got married.
And she tried. Princess Diana fought for her husband. She went to the Queen.
By 1985, Diana told Sutherland she had had enough.
So I went to the top lady.
The top lady, otherwise known as Her Majesty. It was a bold move. According to Morton, Diana was in awe of her mother-in-law and terrified of her as well.
But if Diana had hoped to get support from the Queen, she was sorely disappointed. According to the princess, the Queen turned a cold shoulder to her appeal for help.
The princess described an emotional scene inside the walls of Buckingham Palace.
And I was sobbing, and I said, what do I do? I'm coming to you, what do I do? And she said, I don't know what you should do. Charles was hopeless. And that was it. That was help. That was help.
She went to Camilla.
I walk into the house and stick my hand out to Camilla for the first time and think, phew, got over that. We were all upstairs and I was chatting away, and I suddenly noticed that there was no Camilla, no Charles upstairs. So this disturbs me. So I make my way to go downstairs again. I know what I'm going to confront myself with. Try and stop me from going downstairs. Then I don't go down there. I'm just going to find my husband. I go downstairs, and there's a very happy little threesome going on downstairs. Camilla, Charles, and someone of mine who I didn't know, chatting away. So I thought, right, this is your moment. So I went and sat down, joined in the conversation as though we were best friends. And I said, Camilla, I'd love to have a word with you if possible.
Nobody listened to her.
There's just nobody to physically scream at, or someone put their arms around me, just listen. When I cry, I can't bear people to say, it can't be as bad as that, or we understand. Nobody understands.
What was she supposed to do? She was still breathing and full of life. She wanted somebody to love her, so after she tried everything.
Certainly she never pictured sharing Charles with another woman. Camilla Parker Bowles was the prince's longtime girlfriend, confidant, and hunting partner in the years before Diana arrived on the scene, and she didn't exactly make herself scarce once Diana and Charles were engaged.
Meanwhile, there's Charles running around with different mistresses, and he told her, he will never be the only royal without a mistress. Literally, he told her that.
5 years into the marriage, Diana said she suspected her husband had gone back to Camilla Parker Bowles, and she confronted him about it.
I remember saying to my husband, why this lady around? And he said, well, I refused to be the only Prince of Wales who never had a mistress.
Without any shame. So what was Princess Diana supposed to do? She's human. But for some reason, the derangers and the freaking tabloid bashing on her for doing exactly what Charles did after Charles will not give her what she wanted.
Diana and Charles never found their stride together.
It's a classic case of psychological crossed wires, because Diana couldn't give Charles what he wanted, and Charles couldn't give Diana what she wanted.
5 years into the marriage, Diana said she suspected her husband had gone back to Camilla Parker Bowles, and she confronted him about it.
So she went and got it someplace else. They all are baggage for God. Oh my Lord. That is so freaking disgusting. All right. Next tweet. Do I have it? It's already 5:16. So there's that here. There is nothing wrong with continuing to love your family, even after they hurt you. But if you love them from afar, always remember the reason why you love them from afar. Failing to do so can entrap you back into the cycle of trauma that forced you to live in the first place. She's spot on. She's spot on. Because Harry's, I don't know. Harry, I understand this is his father and it's not mine. Okay? And I think the way Harry grew up, they minimize him, they humiliate him, and he got used to it. So he never knew anything different. But now I think he does. But he doesn't just want to live like that and not have that connection. But I think, knock on wood, the example that he's looking for to open his eyes is not the one that will end him. But I think he's trying his best to make that connection. But the institution are freaking robots. They have no feelings. So Harry needs to understand that. Because there are times in his book, Spare, where he's talking to them. It's like they are like in a bubble within a bubble. They don't get it. They don't understand human nature. They don't understand compassion. So at some point, Harry needs to move on. Okay? And this is why I said, let's pray for William's kids because of Princess Diana. All right, there's here. Point of view. Harry doesn't exist to King Charles. Why? When Harry's location was leaked, his security was removed. Harry tried to reach his pa. His pa didn't pick up Harry's calls, and pa didn't bother to find out where Harry was when Harry was hiding at Tyler Perry's house. Harry was out of sight, out of mind for pa. That's Charles, by the way. And New York City's chase, did pa call Harry? All right, I was running out of character. All right, pure uneducated truth. Exactly. Cutting off family can actually make you more enmeshed. The boundary is Meghan, Archie, and Lily. This is Harry's to deal with, not Meghan's. All right, so there's that. After this, that's it. Okay, I'm going to use Kate as an example of why Harry treats them the way someone will treat a mafia family. These people are capable of hiring folks to unalive you, and then they'll gain sympathy at your funeral. Oh my God, I said this. Was it in this video? I just said that. Okay, Harry periodically reminds them that he has birthright and receipt. All right, boom. My experience as someone who lost both parents is that in the long term, it makes sense for Harry to go there. He can then say whatever happens, at least he tried and won't live the rest of his life with regrets. And I think he has the tools to see clearly now. I think so too. And this is what I said. I hope whatever that will make him see, okay, is not when that will end him, because these people have no feelings. Right? And I hope the second book in Spare is already been written and put some statement out and to document it and say, yes, I authorize it to be made public, because these people who come and make lies, they have people everywhere will bet on their own lives while they're lying to you. Brilliantly said. This is PR expertise honed for centuries. The gullible are constantly manipulated into leaving power to the hands of narcissists, so a kind heart will always be at their mercy. I pray Harry realizes and doesn't fall into the latest trap. I stand with him, whatever. Yeah, that's exactly that. Okay, when my dad was ill, my sibling betrayed me. After he passed, the stepmother they sided with turned around and betrayed them like I told them she will. This is what I'm saying with the, with the Rottweiler over there. The video that I'm editing right now, I say something similar to that. After I pay all the legal fees to fight for what dad wanted, I have distanced myself from them. They don't understand why. I trust Harry's judgment. He handled the coronation beautifully. He knows better than we do what those vipers are about. He's probably lying. I won't set foot there ever again. That's his country. He even said it. This is his country.
So, I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but now with a clearer perspective. The UK is my home, and a place that I love. That will never change.
So the people in the UK, I don't know, I guess they've been into that hypnotism for so long, they don't really get it to speak up, because freedom is not free. You have to fight for it. Look what the US is going right now. But Harry understand. So like one of the comments said, he's trying all of his options. So in the future, he will say, I did my best. I did everything within my power to make amends, but they refuse. The same reason, the same way he left the UK as a non-working royal, he tried everything. Okay, even when he went to Sandringham, tried to negotiate with them. Meanwhile, the institution already had a plan. The papers was already written. They wasted time for hours discussing back and forth, but the institution already, had their plan.
The private secretaries began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between. A compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
And then during that conversation at Sandringham, one of the things that I think they got out of Harry, and then they went and pursued it, is that Harry said he wanted security. That was his only concern.
Everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security.
So they was like, okay, you want security? Let me give you security. This is why I truly feel they went behind the Queen's back and did that. Okay, let's read what's there and then that's it. Boundaries are an essential part of any healing journey. If it is true that Harry is going, it's because he was either asked to go or he asked how critical it is for him to be there. And not only that, him going over there, maybe there's probably some discussion that will probably open his eyes. God forbid if something happened to Charles, he doesn't need to go back. Then you're going to have all the sympathy about, oh, so I have it here. all the sympathies of the tabloid, especially, and on the 14th, he's gonna go to Canada to mark the 1 year leading to the INVICTUS, you know, so they could say, oh, look at him, he's having fun over there. Meanwhile, there's his father who's sick, bedsided, and all of that. So he made sure. So I think I understand why he went. Now I understand exactly for what I'm saying right now. So when the tabloid are writing their nonsense when he's in Canada, so they don't put that sympathy, make him feel guilty for having a good time with while he's in Canada with the veterans, whatever ceremony they're gonna have. So if they have the sympathy headlines already, so Harry will say, look, I went over there, my father only stayed for 45 minutes, okay, and then he flew to Sandringham. He didn't even care where I was gonna stay, all right, because he took 5 more away. All right, so that's this year. This is the next tweet. Okay, so it seems like now this tweet is the day that Harry went to the UK. All right, so I probably arrange it slightly different now. Or am I in the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, I don't think I stuttered. All right, so this is, look at all the media over there waiting for him. There's security. So if Charles wants, Charles could give him security. They just don't want to. Okay, you keep waiting for the true king, Prince Harry. Argue with yourself. This is no squad, Dr. Zenier, because, you know, the derangers are going to come and say, oh, he's not a king, he's not that. So she already told you, just argue with yourself on that part. All right, that's the response. And I'll go into hers because that's a retweet. Okay, where are the photos and videos of William traveling to meet his father? Okay, I beg your pardon, who? The prodigal son returns. King to you, please and thank you. Joking around. All right, so you might see this video again, but probably different caption. Not stuttering on your part. The king has arrived. All right, so let's listen. There'll be some screenshot. Look at them waiting to see him. It feels so weird because in the US, it will be on the other side. Alright, good King Harry. They need that. This is the thing I've said also. Good King Harry, they need that crucial 28 days waiting period that the Home Office swore was the only way he could enter England. Funny how that works. I hope they don't blame Harry for Kate's disappearance. Just saying. God protects Harry while he is in that salty island. Alright, 28 people like it. Today, we will see even Kate pictures, then blame Prince Harry for them. Alright, no wonder certain people are mad. Let's see here. Okay, Chris Chip. Okay, after an overnight flight from LAX, it seems Prince Harry has landed at Heathrow Airport and is now on his way to see his father, King Charles. There they are leaving. What we should focus on right now is the king and his health, not his second son. Hey, this is where the money making is. This is why they want to show it. All right, and I don't know. The breaking, King Harry has landed. I sang King Harry. Breaking, Prince Harry has landed back in the UK after rushing to be at his father's, King Charles' side following his shock cancer diagnosis. Alright, British press is so thirsty. Oh my gosh. I thought the big H was irrelevant. Where are the crown's secret weapons? Kate the Great and the Magnificent Seven. Oh, Camilla's boys taking Will's job. There's a laugh. The press can't pay their bills without Harry. Alright, I'm extremely sure that he wants to get this visit over and done with as soon as possible before the INVICTUS event in Canada. I think so too. Next week, anyways. Has anyone seen Kate yet? Yeah, I think this is exactly why he went, because the headlines would have already making him feel guilty for enjoying his work with his wife. Remember, it's during Valentine's Day, the 14th. All right, so they're gonna go over there and enjoy themselves, and I'm telling you, a lot of things gonna be happening. He wants to be in a good mood and get this monkey off his back. All right, his father crying like a freaking whatever, but they probably wanted him to remove those cases on the in court. But anyway, that's a different story. Okay, the stone that the builder rejected become the chief cornerstone. It's time for Harry to start treating that family for what it is, a business. Okay, if they want the publicity, time to pay up. Perhaps 85% of the duchies should surface, along with a good chunk of Charles' personal fortune. You know, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. You want him? Pay him up. Yeah. Because they're receiving billions. I don't know if it's billion, but millions from taxpayers. So they want publicity. Hey, pay up. Okay, is it amazing that all of a sudden he can get police protection? Oh wait, Meghan's not with him, so the royals are okay with it. Okay, that's another thing. Why are they all dressed in black? I know it's winter, but still. Alright. When KKK was in the hospital, we were fed stories of how media wasn't there. I just said rumors of Harry's visiting his father in hospital will put media in frenzy, made all scramble to get his photo. Now, it has happened. Our king has arrived. Okay, I say I was gonna go to something. Which one? This one that Dr. Zenye retweeted. Okay, argue with yourself. Okay, I hate these AI marks up. All hail good King Harry. Alright, so there's all of that. Yes, let's go to the next one. Okay, he is not only their king, he is the king of free world. Queen Elizabeth and King Harry. That's it. Let's go to the next tweet. It's already 5:30. Oh my goodness. Time flies. Next tweet. Tell Emily the Mumu to unblock me. I want to talk to her. If I say what's in my head, Twitter will get me. Alright. Genuine question by Emily Andrews. What on earth will compel Meghan to come back to the monarchy when you and your peers continue to behave in a way and to defame her so as to make her not want this? Framing her as an egotist who wanted to be ahead of Kate is the usual what? Okay, wait. For some reason, this text. Okay. Framing her as an egotist who wanted to be ahead of Kate is the usual royal reporter's trick. Ignore at all costs the ugly truth that she was a woman subjected to unprecedented character assassination. Oh, let's pause. Within 8 days by you and your peers who were often briefed and encouraged by the family to do this, and this brought her to suicidal ideation. Harry took her out to save his wife and uphold her well-being, not because she wanted the spotlight, which she had anyway. That was the problem. You know this, so please don't act like you know Meghan and her reason, then misrepresent them. You don't know or tell, you spend. Alright, 57 seconds. I don't know how these people have the guts. Baggage for God.
As Kathleen says, imagine what could have been right now. We've got, if they had stayed in this country.
Be like the Beatles.
It would be like, exactly, sort of the second coming. And I think that, we know that, I know that Meghan didn't like to be kind of second behind the
How do you know?
Princess of Wales.
How do you know? Meghan already said when all four of them were on stage, I think either they were gonna get married or they were already married. I don't remember. Okay, Meghan said she doesn't mind being in the background to do things.
I think that knowing that I've just been here for 3 months, right, and in that amount of time, but with that said, for me, it's very important to. Once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far. But with that said, for me, it's very important to, once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far, is meeting with the right people, meeting with the right organizations behind the scenes quietly, learning as much as I can so that I can maximize the opportunity we have here to really make an impact.
And to maximize her potential to learn. So she already left the spotlight for them. It's those idiots, including her, who still don't get it. Baggage for God. Meghan already told them she didn't mind being in the background. Perfect example, when she was doing the cookbook and SmartWorks, all of that. She was in the back doing all the hard work, the hands-on things. It was until the thing is done, you get to see it. And then I think that got the others jealous. They've been there for a lifetime, but they don't know how to carry out their own work that they're getting millions for. And Meghan, who just stepped in, already know how to do it. You didn't hear every single day that she was doing things for Smart Work or she was working with the Grenfell. None of that. You didn't hear it until the day of. Jesus Christ. She's a baggage for God. All right, let's listen.
Now Princess of Wales, she didn't. There's so much has been said and done, but I think had they, and she was a woman. She wanted to hit the ground running and a woman in a hurry, which is fantastic. Had they bided their time somewhat, which they didn't want to do, and I can understand why. Now they will be absolutely front and centre of the royal family.
For sure, but equally, I don't like this framing of what happened with Meghan and Harry as being Meghan and Harry's problem. Like it's a missed opportunity for Meghan and Harry and the royal family.
Absolutely.
So no. There's no missed opportunity for Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan already knew, okay? None of this were for them. They already knew. Meghan was more into helping people. She was making millions, you know. I know some of the derangers don't think it's a lot, whatever amount she was getting per episode for Suit, but she was satisfied with what she was making. In her free time, she was helping people. So there come Harry, who grew up in that kind of environment that he believed that they taught him this is what they were there for. But it's illusion, but Harry took it at face value. He enjoyed helping people, and there's Meghan, who enjoyed helping people. So they already knew none of this establishment that's been there for centuries. Okay, that was not for them, but the people they were going to help. This is what they were excited for. And Harry have said there's a lot of work to be done.
But also giving up your career.
This is nice. Yes. But I don't see it as giving anything up. I just see it as a change.
It's a new challenge.
It's a new chapter, right? And also keep in mind, I've been working on my show for 7 years. So we were very, very fortunate to be able to have that sort of longevity on a series. And for me, once we hit the 100 episode marker, I thought, you know what, I have ticked this box, and I feel really proud of the work I've done there. And now it's time to, as you said, work as a team with you. Yeah.
But do you have that sense of responsibility, Prince Harry, for what you're asking Meghan to do?
Of course, that sense of responsibility was essentially from day one, or maybe a couple of months in, when I suddenly realised actually this is, you know, I know that I'm in love with this girl, and I hope that she's in love with me. But we still had to sit down on the sofa, and I still had to have some pretty, frank conversations with her to say that, what you're letting yourself in for is, it's a big deal, and it's, it's not easy for anybody. But I know that, at the end of the day, she chooses me, and I choose her, and therefore, whatever we have to tackle together or individually will always be us together as a team. So, I think she's capable.
So
of,
nicely said, isn't it?
I don't know. She's capable of anything. And together, as I said, there's a hell of a lot of stuff and work that needs doing. At the moment, for us, it's going to be making sure that our relationship is always put first. But no, look, both of us have passions for wanting to make change for good, and with lots of young people running around the Commonwealth, that's where we're going to spend most of our time, hopefully.
And it was really one of the first things we connected on. It was one of the first things we started talking about when we met, was just the different things that we wanted to do in the world and how passionate we were about seeing change. I think that was, that's what got date 2 in the books, probably.
Plenty to talk about.
Because he walks in the rough places, because he's the spare. Well, not anymore, but he was the spare, but they will send him the rough places so he get to see and understand people's misery.
What helped you to understand that position that you were in?
Spending 10 years in the military was one.
And what did that do for you?
I think I wouldn't say it changed my outlook on life, but there were certainly experiences that I went through during those 10 years that not only was I surrounded by normal people on a day-to-day basis and being able to share and talk about everyday issues that they were going through, but it was a grounding moment for me as well. Wearing the same uniform as as all of the people that I was serving with, getting an opportunity to serve your country on operations, but also being part of a family. And that's not just the guys and the girls that were wearing the uniform, but also the wives, the girlfriends, the kids. That whole network of support was huge. But I think my understanding of service and duty became really, really ingrained, or it was given to me by my service in the military, because that's what it's all about. And you're taking young people from some of the most deprived cities and towns across the UK for the British Armed Forces, and I know it's the rest for the rest of the world as well. But you're taking some people who've had some really, really hard upbringings and hard backgrounds, and you're training them to be ambassadors. You're training them to be fighters, but you're training them to be brothers in arms with each other as well. And I think that's an incredibly powerful tool to be able to do. And I have a huge amount of respect for anybody, whatever their background is, to be able to serve your country like that.
Well, we're going to come back to that in a little bit in terms of some of the efforts that you have around leaders in the military. But I want to ask you, you traveled the whole world in both your role, in your royal role. As you were going around the world, how did you get more focused on things that you cared about? I mean, we see a lot of pictures of you with children. You spent a year in Lesotho,
Yep.
right? And, bring that to life for us.
I get all of my passion, inspiration, and energy from young people. And that is from the ages of 6 or 7 in the Caribbean, when you get a 6-year-old turning around to you and telling you exactly how much damage your country and the developed world is causing them, all the way to 28, 30-year-olds who, at some point in their life, have already a better understanding of duty and service than I ever did at that age, because it's all about giving back. So yeah, I think that, look, lots of people say that, oh, your job of traveling the world is wonderful. Of course, it's wonderful, but when we get sent to some countries, we don't always get to see the beautiful parts. We're always there trying to deal with some of the issues, but also doing everything we can to bring people together to make change, to make positive change. And it's an absolute joy and a privilege to meet the younger generation of change makers across the world who genuinely believe in the fact that they, as a single person and as a group and as a community and as a nation, not only can change their country, but can change the world as well. And that is what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis.
And Meghan already knew about all of that. So this is why he really wanted to help people. And that was for the establishment. And this is the facade the establishment feed to the people, to the peasants. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you this. I'm here to give you that. But there's Harry and Meghan who's actually doing it. But the ones who are in control just giving word of mouth, nothing. They go to places or they could only give you smile.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes that's more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So
They don't bring anything to give to the charities, nothing. But Harry and Meghan, they put their hard work, they give ideas, they create things from ground up with ideas of the cookbook.
Asked me, how many days do you offer this service? And I said 2 days a week. And her straight question was, why not 7 days, Zahira? And I said, funding. So she goes, we can do a cookbook.
Okay, make them make millions. So they got the others, the left behinders, the one who were supposed to be doing the same thing that Harry was supposed to do. They got jealous out of brilliance, people who were brilliant than them. So Harry and Meghan was not, they already knew none of this were for them. It was for the people, and at the same time to help the institution, make the institution look good. Okay, but instead they went on a freaking, I don't know, jealousy rage. Let me move it back slightly. Oh my goodness.
Meghan and Harry and the royal family.
Absolutely.
So it was something which happened from both sides.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's just led to this really unhappy situation.
Well, Harry and Meghan are not losing anything. It was a rough start for them. They make it impossible for them to do what they wanted to do. So they had to start all over again, which was a very difficult thing. I don't know how they made it. Thank God they made it with the help of, good people around them. Let's not forget Tyler Perry and other people we will never know. Okay, it was rough for them, but this is what happened when people have brain. They could produce from nothing. Okay, so their mind, their ideas, their brilliance, their genius help them, bring what they have now. Imagine if the leftovers were put in the same situation. Where will they be right now? I don't even think I'll be able to make it as well as they did here. Okay, so it's the royal family that loses, but it was a rough start for Harry and Meghan to start all over again. Especially Meghan took everything. I'm telling you, the UK owed Meghan big time. Took her stuff from Canada, bring to the UK, and then rejected her, and then bring things back again. My goodness. All right, so.
In the end, with families, maybe you can sort of forget the details of it and just move on. Let's not worry about it. Melvin.
Okay, that would be nice. They want to move on. Harry and Meghan move on, but you guys, every freaking day, there is some BS you guys are saying about Harry and Meghan. That would be nice if you just move on. But you consistently on a daily basis talking about them, making their life a living hell and unsafe. All right, let me move it back all near the end. All right.
To this really unhappy situation.
Yeah, it has. In the end, with families, maybe you can sort of forget the details of it and just move on. Let's not worry about it. Melvin.
They have to worry about it because you guys keep on talking about them every day. All right. When did Meghan ever say that she resented being second to Kate? Oh my God, she tiger. Nasty editorializing and projection. What she has publicly said is that the abuse and racism she faced here from people in your industry badly affected her mental health. Those are the facts. Okay, maybe Emily had some private chat where Meghan confesses this. Otherwise, Emily's royalist sense of morality just made up for a spin. Okay, I find by Emily Andrews' analysis interested not. Why will anyone wake up every morning to be second best to a woman who has achieved nothing all her life? I'm telling you, Emily Andrews can have all that if she wishes, as the position is vacant. I'm happy Meghan is alive and well away from vultures. It's the indoctrinated hierarchical mindset. Meghan didn't try to better, she just was. That put a target on her back. The same people who say she and Harry could have globally promoted brand Britain were writing articles painting her as a witch. My goodness. Okay, wow, Jeremy Vine, forget the little details. How easy that is to say. I'm telling you. Forget what Meghan was essentially suicidal and Charles was unmoved by the death threats she had, or that William sent his aide to give evidence against her in court so she could be ripped apart on a public stage. My goodness. She knows Meghan didn't like being second to Princess of Wales bullcrap right there, and no one calls her on it. Meghan is a strong woman who successfully played and assembled for years without complaint. I think the jealousy lies elsewhere. Okay? And Kate, what has she done? There's nothing she's done. This is what the squad are saying here. There's nothing to be jealous of, with the exception of her marrying to William. And this is what she told one of those kids. I don't have that clip. It's buried somewhere in one of my videos. When they went somewhere to outing, the kid didn't know who she was. Okay, who are you? Oh, I'm William or Prince William's wife. Okay, so that's how she could present herself. Okay, the way these people lie is mind-boggling. Your constant vicious abuse against her affected her mental health, and she was asked to reduce herself because she was outshining the others.
Told, been given advice that it would be best if she could be 50% less than she was.
Wow.
That was the quote. If she could be 50% less. And I remember hearing that in 2018 and said specifically to her, I don't know how you're going to survive being half of yourself.
Wow, I think it's
the fact that she.
Yeah. I think it's important
Isn't
to say.
it something?
Yeah, I'm still stunned by that.
I don't know how you ask anybody to do that.
That they were not paid for the interview, and the interview was not at my house. There's something going on about, it's at Gail's California mansion.
I was wondering I hadn't been invited.
Who will like to stay in this backward and toxic institution. Okay, after this, that's it. Anyone would have been ahead of Kate without even trying, because sadly Kate is dull and stands for nothing. This woman has not helped any single community. She has absolutely no impact, and that's the truth. Her legacy is that big smile on front page. Meghan did nothing more. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. It's not that I'm trying to defend Kate or anything like that, but let's keep in mind the institution does not want anyone to outshine the heir or whoever the monarch is. The thing is that I did a video a couple years ago where I said the institution has what they wanted. Why are they complaining about? What happened is that once Meghan joined the institution, their game plan changed. They were fine with her not doing anything and just, you know, play with her hair, look pretty and everything like that. They were fine with that. But once Meghan come in, who didn't know the assignment, the behind the facade assignment, just pretend, Meghan was not about that. Meghan thought she was gonna go and work and do things. So the game changed. They didn't want to tell Meghan, look, you just have to pretend. You know, we get millions for just pretending. But Meghan didn't know. But these people, you know, now that Meghan was doing things, people were seeing the changes. They were affected by it. They were happy by it. And then she was getting the applaud and adoration that she deserved. Not just for marrying Harry, but she was actually doing the work. So now Kate's plan have changed. So they want her to be automatically to be like Meghan. And then sadly, the only thing that they focused on was the exterior.
Yeah, it's still my baby. I wanted a place where I could share these great experiences I'm able to have and make it inspirational for people, but also a reminder that it's all attainable. You know, like I didn't grow up with this kind of lifestyle or being interviewed or having fancy things. Like that is all very new. And so to be able to show like, you want that, you could totally have that, and you are enough and you're worth it. And it's also been a great way for me to connect with people. Well, you know, I feel a really big responsibility. Like if you have this kind of job and you have an opportunity to have a profile where people are listening to what you're saying, I really, truly think you need to be saying something that's valuable. So yes, you can talk about like, where did Rachel get that pencil skirt? Fine, sure. We can have that conversation. But I'd also like to talk about women's rights. Women's rights and like my work with UN Women or with World Vision or humanitarian trips or just really bolstering self-esteem that has nothing to do with the external.
The things that people don't really care about. Oh, she's wearing this, so you must wear the same thing Meghan is wearing. But when in fact all they need to do is just copy what Meghan was doing, or not even copy. Tell Meghan, look, I'll advocate for you. Tell me what you want. Just at the end of your project, let me go and cut ribbon. But they don't want to do that. They want to show people that they just like Meghan, but they can't even do the work. But instead, they're making fool of themselves. Okay? So the institution had exactly what they wanted. I'm glad I did that video when I did it, because I recognized it and I quickly put my thought out. This is why I said, this is my opinion. And then each time I put my opinion out, and they're proving me right. Okay, I did that video a while back. They were just pretending. They had exactly the type of woman that they want, who cannot do anything. Meanwhile, William will shine. How William was shining? Because of what Harry was doing. He just take credit for Harry's work. So now there's Meghan. They mess up big time for attacking Meghan. And then Harry, who's truly in love with her. And it's not like they didn't know. Harry told them, Meghan told them, they just didn't listen. They just didn't listen. You know, I could go on with that. Let me move on. Let's get back to the original recording. Oh, come on. It's already, okay, 5:44.